beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel, GGIRL, where we discuss all things empowerment, spirituality, and self-development. So we're just going to dive right into it today. We're going to talk about feeling stuck. You know, that feeling of overwhelm and feeling like no matter what you do, you have one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. We all experience moments of feeling overwhelmed. And so in today's episode, we're going to talk about just how we can overcome those moments and that all hope is not lost. But before we jump into that, let's take a moment to pull an oracle card to set the energy for today's message. I'm going to pull a card for guidance and insight on what the collective needs to hear to help us get unstuck. Let's see what message the cards have for us today. So we're just going to give these cards a little shuffle. Okay, let's see. Wow. Okay. So we got fear. Wow, feeling a little called out, feeling scared. Our brain and ego do whatever they need to keep us safe and out of the situation that we are fearful of. But sometimes being safe doesn't necessarily equate to moving forward and living the life that we want to. When you're feeling scared, it's just your brain trying to keep you safe. Sometimes what your brain is telling you, it isn't real. What's real is what you are aiming to do in life. So let's not let our fears hold us back. But how crazy, right? So often we feel that we are in fact stuck. And in reality, it is just the universe's way of telling us to slow down and to keep in mind that this is a phase that we have to pass through. We're not staying here, we're passing through. So I'd like you to keep that in mind as we dive into this episode. To get unstuck, the first thing you need to do is identify what is making you feel that way. Is it fear? Is it a lack of direction? Are you clinging to something that no longer serves you? There's this quote by Anna Easton that I love, and I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget anything. But she says, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." So often we stay stuck because we feel safe. We feel safe in the area that we're in. We feel safe in the phase that we're in. And at the same time of feeling safe, there's also not being able to move, of feeling like this is as far as you can go and this is as good as it gets. And that's a lie that we tell ourselves. It's a lie that we tell ourselves because we want to avoid pain. We want to avoid discomfort, which is normal. We don't want to go through pain and discomfort, but unfortunately, to get to where you want to go, you have to do things that you haven't done before, and that is naturally going to create discomfort because you're playing around in the unknown. Take some time to journal, try to meditate, try to take some time for you and get those thoughts clear. Write them down, get them out of you, get them out of your head. Get out of your head and onto paper. It's the only way that you'll really be able to go outside of what you're thinking and be able to observe it from a different perspective. Once you've identified the root cause, it's time to shift that energy. Okay, we got to move that energy. That stuck energy is telling you that you got to move. You got to take action. So start with taking small steps. Take baby steps towards what you already know, because I know you know. Take baby steps towards what you already know you need to do. Whether that means starting to go on walks to jumpstart your fitness journey, or starting to journal so that you can get some ideas for that book, or talking to a mentor or a therapist to help you get into a state of mind of understanding and less judgment. Remember, you don't have to have everything planned out for you to start making changes, for you to start making those movements towards what you want, towards the vision that you see for yourself. Even if it's the smallest step, take it. I encourage you to take it, because that small step is going to build momentum, and momentum is going to be your best friend. But if you don't start and you don't get that momentum, then you're not going to feel motivated, because we're in our feelings right now. We're feeling stuck. So in order to get out of our feelings, we need to get into action. And by taking little steps, you're signaling to your mind, you're signaling to your body, I'm ready to move into another phase. I'm ready to move into another state of mind. And by creating that small step, or creating that new routine, or planning, journaling, anything to help you get out of this stuck feeling, you're going to create momentum, and things are going to change inevitably. I promise. It's also important that you recognize that feeling stuck is also part of the process. It's not something that we can avoid. I'm sorry, but it's not. Sometimes a pause, a stop, a chill is needed. Sometimes we're doing too much. Maybe you're putting too much on your plate and you're trying to start too many projects, or you're trying to change too many things. And this is life's way of telling you, slow down. It's okay. Things are going to happen. Inevitably, things are going to unfold, so long as you continue to move and you continue to make little steps towards what you want, towards your goal. And the pause, there is just as much to learn from the pause as there is in the process of learning. In the pause, you can learn what your limits are, what your boundaries are, what you just will not accept, what you no longer tolerate, what no longer works for you. If you're constantly go, 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 and I have to do this, and I have to get to that, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that, where do you give yourself the opportunity to recognize how far you've come? Where do you give yourself the opportunity to celebrate all of your little wins? Because it's not always going to be big victories. It's the little wins that lead to those big victories, and you have to celebrate it all along the way. So take the pause. Don't feel ashamed that right now you're feeling the way that you do. It's all part of the process. You have to trust it. This is another Anais Nin quote. I really love her. She says, "Throw your dreams into space like a kite, and you do not know what it will bring back." That's exciting, right? Like, it's exciting and it's scary at the same time. When we surrender, truly surrender to the flow of life, we open ourselves to possibilities that we hadn't even imagined. Trust that the path will reveal itself to you when you are ready. In the meantime, focus on cultivating a sense of peace. Focus on just being still and appreciating that, knowing that even as you are still, even as you are feeling like you're not moving, there is so much growth happening for you right now. Before we close out today's video, I want to pull 3 self-care cards for us. 3 options as to what we can do to help us in our journey to getting unstuck and learning how to also trust the process. It is no coincidence that our first card is rest. Sleep is an essential part of maintaining our health and energy. We need to take the time to make our bedroom, our bed, a cozy oasis. So, ready yourself for a night of restful sleep by making sure you're fully decompressed and relaxed before you climb under the covers. This means no phone or scrolling an hour before bed, okay? You know who you are, we all do it. Another thing that helps is calming our nervous system with some light stretching or herbal tea, which I love, lavender tea, highly recommend, or taking a nice relaxing bath if you can. You can also find more restful sleep, which I have noticed has worked wonders for me, using an eye mask or a white noise machine. Syncing up with the sunrise and sunset can also help us restore the natural rhythms of our body and rest cycle. So, something else that you can do too, if you're journaling, ask yourself this: what patterns do you notice with respect to the amount of rest you're getting and how your body, thoughts, and emotions fluctuate? Write that down and journal. See what comes up. Hydrate. So water is life. It's a resource we need, and we definitely use some more water in my life. I'm trying to get better at that. Drinking spring water is so good for you. It has vital minerals and it helps to nourish your body truly. Another journal prompt that you can add for this is, are you happy with your water source? If not, how can you upgrade your water supply? Just thinking about little things that you can do for yourself to feel better, it is the best thing that you can do. And lastly, read. So whether the book is a fantasy novel or a work of nonfiction, reading opens us to new perspectives and expands our minds. Get your hands on a book that gets you excited. Borrow one from a friend, visit your local library and ask the librarian for top picks, or just go to a bookstore and browse the recommended titles and tables. Make sure you set aside some time to read a few pages each day. This self-care practice can be perfect for beginning your day or winding down in the evening. Personally, I love reading a book or reading a page of a book that I'm reading right before bed. It also helps me set my intention for the next day. I'm reading books on self-development right now, so I really feel like it plants seeds in my subconscious. So when I wake up fresh with ideas on how I can make the day a better day. And a journal prompt that you can make for this card is, what was your favorite book to read as a kid, and how does it make you feel to think about reading it now? Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, feeling stuck is just a phase, and with intention and action, you can move through it. Let me know in the comments what you do and what works for you when you're feeling stuck. And if you end up using any of the self-care cards, and let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay empowered and take care of yourself.